Hello, and welcome to another Tech Articles. In what I'm hoping is going to be a very quick tip video, there was a question on the Facebook group regarding SureCart, and it was about replicating this order notification in SureCart, which by default doesn't happen because it's very easy to find unfulfilled orders in SureCart. There are filters for it in terms of this so that you can see them, but I can kind of understand why people like that very quick visual indicator. I'm a big fan of quick visual indicators. They let you know how something is when you log into your site or when you do something. So I said in the forum that I thought it would be possible, and my justification for that was ultimately the data is already here, which means it must be queryable via the API. And I even took a guess that it would be orders and fulfillment status that you would use to do that. And I did say to the original poster of that question that when I got 5 minutes, I would see if I could replicate some form of version of that badge for SureCart. And I had those 10 minutes this afternoon, and I just want to talk you through A, some of the methodology, and B, show you the output and also explain some of the code. Now, there will be an article to follow this. Actually, the article, for the first time ever, I think the article is actually already written. It is here. I just need to push publish once I've got the video in it, and it contains all of the code in it. So if you're not overly concerned with how the code works, and I have tried to comment it, and I've even got ChatGPT to comment it so that it makes more sense than my comments. But I just wanted to show you how I got there, and actually there's some useful tips in here for when you're working with WordPress in general and finding out information to be able to do these sort of things. So we know what we want to replicate, which is getting a little badge on our orders. So the first thing we need to do is work out what this menu is. Because as I said, with my existing knowledge, I already knew about which API we wanted to target in terms of getting the data out of the API. And I also know actually that this is the name of this menu because I've targeted it before. But I also thought it'd be useful to show you how I learned that information. So the first thing I'm going to do is head over to WP Codebox, and I'm actually going to open Debug Log Viewer here. So you can see that there's currently no logs, and I'm going to enable this snippet, and I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to refresh this page. And you'll notice some bits of information appear on this screen. So this first section here is all of the top level menu items on this site. And this is a more defined look at the sub-menu items of the SureCart menu. Now, the important bit of information we need here is this bit here. So this tells us what we need to target. I thought this is useful, and I've included this snippet in the article because it allows you to drill down into what's available, and then using the code, we've then hit the SureCart dashboard, because we now know that is the name of it because it's here. So we know that's what it's called. We can then change this to what we wanted and do our debug. So I'm going to disable that now so we don't continue to fill the logs. And this is the code that is done. And I'm not going to save this because my API key isn't in here and it will stop working when I enable it. But we have a debug for on and off for debugging. And we also have the fetch code. This is what's getting our API. So as I said, it was API orders, and this polls through the pageation and gives us our output. And then we do a simple count to see how many were returned. It gives us a total, which we then inject a little badge, and there's a little bit of styling here. So it's not really complicated code. It is very simple. As I said, I've had ChatGPT go through it and add lots of comments so everyone knows exactly what it does. Here is where we begin to poll. If it's full, it will run until the page is full. If it gets less than 100 items back, it assumes we're at the end of that page run now, and it will start to total them up. There is a transient in here. Now, I think you don't want this polling on every page refresh. So I've set it at 5 minutes. That means that if you fulfill an order, there will be a 5-minute delay before the badge changes. But I think for quick visual looks when you're logging in once or twice a day, 5 minutes is nothing. If you want it at 1 minute, you can have it 1 minute. If you want it at 20 minutes, you can have it at 20 minutes. If you don't want it at all, just comment out the line. It's not vital. So if you did that, it wouldn't be a transient at all, and it would be live polling the API. But that would be extreme to me. So I've set a 5-minute refresh. You're going to know in that period whether you've closed down all of the available orders, and you're not going to have to worry. And I mean, 5 minutes in the grand scheme of things, if you're printing labels, if you're checking up on deliveries, etc., it's not going to make that much difference. But you should set this for whatever fits better with your workflow. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to enable this code and I'm going to refresh the page. And with the code in place, we get an order of 1. And the reason we've got an order of 1 is because we have an unfulfilled order. Now, if I was to go to this order and fulfill this item, https site.com, like so. I'm not going to notify them. Fulfill this item. You'll notice straight away that it didn't refresh. So it still tells me we've got 1. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to come down here and delete my transients, like so. And then I'm going to come up to SureCart and it is updated because 5 minutes has now passed and it's run an update. So that's how it works. That's how the code works. I just wanted to do a little video to accompany the article. Hopefully it's of use to more than one person, but I thought you'd be interested to see how I've done this, because one of the things I say a lot about SureCart, and I say it a lot in the Facebook group, is I really like how good the documentation is and how easy it is to customize items for it based on the API and the documentation. So this is a good example, a good one to understand how it's been put together and to learn how to query that API using some PHP. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe to the channel.